elementary schools. Riverglow is a free, family-friendly event based at Farmington's Bird Park. Riverglow, Friday evening, December 6th from 6 to 9 p.m.
Twelve minutes past 8 o'clock. It is Monday morning, the second day of December 2024. Good morning, everyone. I'm Scott Micklin. Thanks for tuning in to KSJE 90.9 FM over the air here in San Juan County, New Mexico. In Durango, Colorado, we broadcast at 103.3 FM. And if you're listening anywhere else on the planet this morning, you've gone to our website to do that. That's ksje.com. Also want to welcome our viewers this morning who are watching this program. The video is streaming out live to the KSJE Facebook page and also to our YouTube channel. So welcome aboard, everybody. I am so glad that you are with us because this morning we are learning about the upcoming entertainment that is coming to the Farmington Civic Center both this month and in the coming new year. Lots of things to tell you about this morning, so stay tuned for that. Randy West and Jordan Grant are my guests this morning, so stay tuned. That's coming up in the next few moments right here on KSJE. Then next hour, of course, we turn to classical music. Mick Hess will take us roving with the arts, our weekday classical music program here on KSJE, which begins after the news at 9:06. Don't forget, we invite you to connect with us on our other social media platforms like X and Instagram, in addition to Facebook and YouTube. And if you're a podcast person, you can find and subscribe to KSJE podcasts. They're available places where you're probably already listening to podcasts, like iTunes and Spotify and Pandora and iHeartRadio and much, much more. Check it out and discover a new program that you may have missed recently. Outside our studios here at San Juan College, it is a sunny Monday morning, 24 degrees at the moment. We're expecting a mostly sunny day today, warming up to about 47 this afternoon. Cleared skies tonight, the low 24. Partly sunny tomorrow with a high of 51 on Tuesday. 48 degrees for a high on Wednesday, 49 on Thursday, 46 on Friday, mid-40s again on Saturday and Sunday, and again overnight lows, as you can see, right around in the mid to upper 20s. I'll be back with my guests from the Farmington Civic Center right after this. Supported by San Juan Regional Medical Center. The caregivers of San Juan Regional Medical Center are committed to bettering the quality of life, health, and care of individuals, families, and our communities. Life is their sacred trust. Better is their mission. Here is their home. San Juan Regional Medical Center, improving the health of the Four Corners since 1910. KSJE is supported by the River Reach Foundation, presenting Riverglow with luminarias along the Animas River, Friday, December 6th from 6 to 9 p.m. featuring carolers from Caliente Community Choir and Piedra High School Choir, and choirs from area middle and elementary schools. Riverglow is a free, family-friendly event based at Farmington's Bird Park. Riverglow, Friday evening, December 6th from 6 to 9 p.m. And back in Studio A this morning with my guests, as I mentioned, from the Farmington Civic Center. It's always great to have the wonderful Randy West here in Studio A with me this morning, the supervisor at the Farmington Civic Center. Randy, good morning.
Thank you so, Scotty. It's always a pleasure, and thank you for supporting the arts.
Well, you're very welcome. That's what the station does, so we're glad to have you here. Of course, you brought with you Jordan Grant this morning as well from the Farmington Civic Center. Jordan, good morning to you.
Good morning. Hey, as second in command, I'm just happy to be here.
Well, we're glad that you're here. So great to have both of you here because I know you've got a lot coming to the Farmington Civic Center and the programs, of course, that the Four Corners Musical Theater Company is doing, and, of course, the Heather McGoy Children's Theater Group that is doing. So lots of things to update our audiences on this morning. And so let's start with what's coming up soonest is, I guess, the Charlie Brown Christmas, right?
Absolutely. Excuse me, absolutely.
Yeah.
Let me start by saying a little bit how we got to here.
Yeah, right.
Is that when I was asked to found a professional musical theater company in Farmington almost 6 years ago, we inherited the Heather McGoy programming, which was already in place. And that programming was being run a little bit like summer camps. And we felt that now that we had a professional theater in Farmington, we should invest more resources into the youth programming. And we combined the name Four Corners Musical Theater with Heather McGoy, and we founded the Heather McGoy Four Corners Theater Academy. And that started using all the professional actors we bring into town, teaching classes, as well as some professionals locally and regionally that were teaching classes for us. And the Heather McGoy program was originally founded by a gracious grant from Heather's friends and family. And that program had been running on that gift. And
that's a finite amount of funds.
It is. And as we increased the quality of the kids shows and the youth shows, we were eating into more of that endowment. And so we're at the point now where we need to start fundraising to support the new level of production that we're doing. All the kids shows have professional designers now. They have a lighting package, a set package, a sound package. We do better costumes. I mean, there's just a working budget that...
You've raised the bar.
That's right.
Yeah. And I think maybe an example of that might be the more recent show, like Rock of Ages,
absolutely.
the Heather McGoy show, right?
Jordan's very actively involved in the youth program and worked with. Who did you work with on Rock of Ages, Jordan?
Sarah Harkness was the director.
Right.
Matt Aaron was the associate director. They had just a whole really great team. I mean, like Randy said, they had their professional lighting designer. We had the two directors. We had a music director who was Shara Piper. And so they really pulled something out of those kids, especially this year. That program's always great. But this year, they pulled something special out of those kids, and it was really spectacular.
Well, and I would say Jordan and I also worked together on all the touring shows. And we got offered the Rock of Ages original band from Broadway.
Right.
And we negotiated the dates so that we played Rock of Ages with Teen Voices for a weekend, and the very next Saturday night we had the Broadway original band, and it was two of the original leads from Rock of Ages were still doing this with the band.
And if I might add, they blew the roof off the Civic Center.
They
that
did.
Band.
Thank
but
you.
Yes.
But they invited our kids to do the encore with them. And so we had staged it with our kids kind of off to the left and off to the right. And when we were doing the sound check, they said, "Can we get a vote in this?" And we said, "Absolutely. What do you want?" And they said, "Kids, right down front." So the band went around the kids went in. They did one verse together, everybody. Then they gave the kids a verse by themselves. And then they took a verse while the kids just danced. And then they ended all together. And I'm telling you, for a 12 to 14, 15-year-old young person, that's a memory that you're going to hold on to probably for the rest of your life. I mean, and it was so sweet and as you said, so talented. So that was a highlight, I think, of the Teen Voices. But
I agree, and I think for the parents too, that was a great memory.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the smiles were ear to ear that
Weren't
I
the
saw,
kids
both in
terrific?
the audience and on stage
Yeah.
from the kids. So congrats to that.
No,
and
no,
I think
no,
that's
just-
an example of what you're talking about of raising this program
Right.
up. And when we see Charlie Brown Christmas, I think we'll see some of that too.
Well, what we decided to do is we have to start actively fundraising now for the Academy. And are we still accepting registration for the Heather McGoy Children's Show?
So the children's theater registration is actually already full. So it
Oh,
filled up
you've
quick.
already filled it up.
Usually does, but it filled up once again. True fashion. It filled up quick.
Okay.
And when is that show?
So that show is going to be. Let me check my dates. I don't want to say the wrong thing.
Okay.
So we're
January.
It's in February.
February.
We're going to be doing a Seussical Junior.
Yeah.
And that show is going to be happening February 20th, 21st, and 22nd. And tickets are going to go up on sale for that soon. So.
Okay.
But the kids do start rehearsing in January.
You're right. Yeah. We start January 4th is the first day of rehearsal.
And who did I stumble upon to direct that program?
So this year, my wife and I are actually the directing team for the Children's Theater program. So we're very excited. We've put together a really great team. We think, once again, of Shara Piper, who's going to be our vocal director. We've got Deja Heaton as our choreographer for that show. And so we're going to take those 8 to 12-year-olds, and we're going to put together something that's really fun. I think it's going to be enjoyed by everybody who checks it out.
We're also employing more of us that work full-time at the Civic Center and have skills into the youth and teen programming. But for example, we decided to add a program that didn't exist, and we hope this is something we're going to redo every December. We're building the sets so we can store them and bring them out next December. Where this year we're renting costumes, so from our very good friends at the theater company that we do all our professional shows with. And what we're going to do is, once we see professionally how they costume this, we're going to take pictures and video, and then we're going to hire local people to build those costumes. So we'll have our own set for next year. So the more that we can just create our own show that just goes into storage and comes out, the better chance we have of making more profit for the children's programming. So we chose Charlie Brown's Christmas. It just came out. It's great for kids because it's short. It's about 35, 40 minutes. And the Teen Voices, if you sign up, you're in. For the Heather McGoy Youth Theater, if you sign up, you're in. We have auditions in February for both young people and adults and teens for our summer season, and that's by audition only. We pick the people that are ready to do the summer. And this new program in December is also by audition only. We had a big group of kids want to be in it, and the show only takes 14 young people. And so we had absolutely made a condition. We're doing 14 kids, only 14 kids. And because our kids are so good, that it's just an outstanding group of kids. But there were so many of them, besides the 14, that we've added Charlie Brown's choir, and that's another 10 kids that are singing in the lobby before the show, and then come up and help us in a couple of numbers during the show. And so, yes, once again, I got wishy-washy when we went to 24. And
you seem like a softie to me, Randy.
I am.
Because this happened with Wizard of Oz, too, as I recall. You had a lot more munchkins than you had planned for. Okay.
Sarah and I were doing Wizard of Oz, and she said 20 munchkins, 20 Ozians. And the number of locals that auditioned for the summer went way up last year. And so we ended up with 32 munchkins and 34 Ozians and a cast of 84. Which is about as many people as you can put on that stage and have room to move around. So we really wanted to hold it to being special. So it's something, the Charlie Brown Show Christmas will be something special every year, and the kids will know what's coming, and they'll know it's only for the best of the best. And all the money that we make from that will go towards supporting the other programming. And the Academy, we use the very... if you've seen any of our shows recently, our talent that we put together to do our shows has always been good, but it's just growing and growing, and the bar is going up, and those people choose to teach while they're in town, and so that also really benefits the Academy, and the numbers at the Academy have gone way up. So we're really fortunate right now that with the growth in the program. And we have a touring show that's booked for December. What's that one, Jordan?
Oh, next year?
We're talking about
Redneck
Tenors?
Yeah.
Pardon me. Okay. Got it. Well, let me just tie up this one.
Sure.
Because we want to let folks know on the radio that can't see our graphics
yes, please.
The Charlie Brown Christmas is going to be on stage December 12th through the 14th.
Correct.
At the Civic Center, which is basically 10 days from now.
Right.
Okay. Not to freak you out, but here we are.
And I'm directing that show. I
Right.
haven't actually directed any of the youth programming before. I've supported it because it's so important.
Sure.
And I've believed in its development, but I haven't actually directed one yet. So
Right.
I'm directing the cast of Charlie Brown, and it's being a blast. We're
Nice.
just having a great time.
And again, info and tickets are at this website, farmingtonshows.com.
Right.
Which is,
and I've got Sarah, who is my Four Corners choreographer, is choreographing with me. So she and I do all the professional shows together. And Shara Piper is once again coming back to musically direct. And we have a great local stage management team.
and we
people
have
who are
seen these two very talented ladies in performances all year and for a long time. They've been with you for a while.
Yeah,
Sarah and
Sarah's.
Sarah.
I've known Sarah since she was 14.
Right.
So.
But we saw
She
both
was
of them
also
in
Lola
Wizard of Oz,
in Wizard of Oz.
Damn Yankees, and more.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, the list goes on and on.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
just for folks who are familiar with your shows, they'd
Shara
be familiar with
was
those
the
actresses.
Wicked Witch of the West in Wizard of Oz.
Yes.
So good people all the way around.
Exactly. Even though they're wicked on stage.
And what are the ticket prices for that?
Ticket prices are $7 for students, $10 for adults.
That's
And-
a little higher than we normally do for just a children's program,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a fundraiser for the other program, which is why we raised the ticket rates a little bit.
Right.
And just to add a note, if you're listening in and you're on the fence and you have a favorite seat at the Civic Center, this is one of the best pre-selling shows we've ever had. So you better get in there and get
Oh.
the seat that you want.
Okay. Good to know. So very good. Now we can go on to
Sorry,
the next one.
I jumped the gun.
It's okay. I just wanted to make sure we had gotten that info out to everybody. And now we can talk about Redneck Tenors. It's also coming this month, right?
Absolutely. Yep. So we'll have the three Redneck Tenors, and that show is this version of their show is titled their Christmas Spectacular, and for the first time we're actually booking a touring show that we've had before at the Civic Center into the Tota. So this show is taking place at the Tota.
Thank you.
And I believe it's the same three Redneck Tenors that were here before last year, and their entire act is going to be centered around Christmas music. So it's comedy, it's Christmas music. If you really want to just get in the spirit, and you're a Southern boy like me, and you're missing home, go online and get yourself some tickets for the show because it's going to be a lot of fun.
And when is it?
So this one takes place December 17th.
Okay.
And the show will start at 7:30 that evening. So, and we'll also be selling tickets at the door if there are any left.
Gotcha. The 17th is a Tuesday,
You got it.
right? Okay. So there you are. Very good. So that's that fills up kind of December a little bit, right? And so let's come back and talk about what you've got planned for 2025, which I know you've been talking about and thinking about, right?
We have.
Yeah.
We actually, believe it or not, a professional theater company negotiating performance rights is much more complicated than an educational theater or a community theater. We're in our own bracket when it comes for that, and we know the people that we have to negotiate with, but it can sometimes take us 3 months to get the rights to be able to do something. And the city sent out a very large survey to the Civic Center email address and one of the city's email addresses, asking people to vote for the shows that they would like to see Four Corners Musical Theater do. And there were some shows on that list that I felt were really strong musicals, but you have to kind of be into musical theater to know about them. Our new upcoming season, we're calling our movie season, because every musical that won the category was also a movie. So in March, we're starting that with Legally Blonde, which is the musical is at least as good as the movie in terms of the movie gets a little rangy. I mean, it's a great movie, but in order to add musical numbers, excuse me, and keep it going, it's very tight. I mean, so Legally Blonde moves right along. We have Coco, who was one of the three trio in Little Shop, and she also played Ghost of Christmas Past in our national tour of Christmas Carol. She's coming back to play Elwood. She played Elwood professionally in Kansas City all last summer. And our professional people, when they were going back and forth from Farmington to wherever they come from, if they're driving, they all stopped in and saw Coco. And when they came back, they said, and if in the future you're ever doing Legally Blonde, Coco was the best Elwoods we've ever seen. So when it came out winning that survey, I called her directly and said, you know, do you have another performance of Legally Blonde in you? And she said, with Four Corners Musical Theater, to come back and work with some of my dearest friends on the planet, and I love the role. Book me. So once we had her, we knew we had somebody that could hold the show together, filling in the rest of. We're bringing in a couple of talents that we've never used before, but are very recommended by other people in our company. And everybody else, I think, mostly is people that have worked here before that we're bringing back. And then just so you know, we intentionally pick shows in the summer that can take bigger casts. And we will in February be announcing an audition, local audition, and the August show will be a show that has young people, kids in it, and adults and teens, and then we sprinkle some adult and teens into the Sandstone show. So that will all be 2 days of auditions in February, and that way the locals can plan their summer around what they want to do. And we can give them lots of information so they're totally integrated. It's the least scariest audition process on the planet, I think. But we are committed to the last 2 weeks of March. We are doing the musical version, which is the same story as the movie, but it's just told musically. And some big dance numbers. So we've been leaning more and more, thanks to Sarah Harkness, into bigger production numbers and more dancing. It certainly continues that tradition. And that'll be the last 2 weeks of March, Thursday through Sunday. And we are experimenting with a new thing. Last summer when we did Wizard of Oz, we did Thursday, Friday, Saturday matinee, Saturday evening show. And for that, we also did Sunday matinee, Sunday evening show. The 2 matinees drew really well. The Sunday evening show, not so much. So what we're doing with this one is we're performing Thursday, Friday, a 2 and a 7:30 on Saturday, and at 2 o'clock on Sunday for 2 weekends.
Okay.
So we are, and we're just going to see if that model works. We might stay with that. I mean, obviously, Sandstone is Sandstone. We can't do matinees. But if that works in March, we're going to repeat that same schedule for the show that has more people in it in August.
Back at the Civic Center.
All back at the Civic Center.
Got it. Right. So and so, can we announce what's coming this summer? Do we have the ability to do that yet?
It would be a first. I think it would be a first.
Breaking news. We call it breaking news over here. Yeah.
Breaking
announcement.
But, all right, yes.
Breaking news.
If I had a drum roll, I would run it right now. Yes. Exactly. Randy West, what's coming?
Another movie musical.
Okay.
Hairspray. We're doing Hairspray, which is a much beloved musical, out at Sandstone. We're starting it earlier this year. We're going to start rehearsing the last week of May so we can perform the last 3 weekends in June and then the first 2 weekends in July, so that we'll be done before Connie Mack. And then the August show, which we're not quite ready to announce yet, will perform the first and the second week of August, which moves it up a whole week. So we should be done before colleges go back or the Farmington School District goes back. So it's a shake up a little bit, but we think it's the best usage of everybody's time and the facilities, right, Jordan?
Absolutely, yep.
Gotcha. That's very exciting. And so, so Hairspray is going to be, what, 1960s Baltimore?
Yes.
At Sandstone.
Right.
Okay. Got it.
Got a little
I'm thinking about how you're going to do that, and so are you, I know.
Yeah,
yes.
I am.
So,
How making Sandstone into the Woods was easy.
Into the Woods,
Making
yes.
Sandstone into the damn Yankees was easy. Making Sandstone into Baltimore, we're working on it right now.
Okay, very good, very good. And you promised me crab cakes at the concession stand, right? That's going to happen.
Louis, we're
right?
doing crab cakes, buddy.
Okay, all right. There you go. Very good. But this is all, and so what sizes are the cast for these, I guess, is my next question
It's
for you.
It's really hard to say. I mean, the cast for Legally Blonde, and March is usually a smaller cast and a little smaller budget for us. It's usually fully professional, and based on what we're looking at now, there are 4, maybe 6 terrific high school kids that we might be able to build a separate, just put them in 3 numbers in Legally Blonde and integrate them so that when we need to get a little bigger, we can. Because Legally Blonde is probably a cast of 28 to 32.
Okay.
And we're doing it with 22.
Okay.
So the 10 principals only play their roles, but the other The other 12 people, they all have at least a 4-role track. So they play 4 different people in the show, plus all the ensemble numbers. So for the bigger ensemble numbers, just so they get a little bigger, we're now looking at bringing in 4 for sure, I think, maybe 6. I'm working with Sarah to figure out what do we need, because it just calls for that. I mean, there's some numbers that just has that a little bit bigger Broadway look.
Okay.
I mean, we did Young Frankenstein with 15 people, and when I ask at intermission or after the show how big was the cast, everybody guessed 20, 25, and
Sure.
that was 15.
Yeah.
But this is a little different show. You've got a full UCLA that you have to do. You have to do Harvard. I mean, it's just a bigger scope show.
Sure.
And then the both of the summer shows will have big casts. I mean, I'm guessing between 26 and 32.
Okay.
Maybe a little more based on you guys.
Yeah.
If a whole bunch of you guys audition and I just can't not say yes, we'll go bigger.
And we know how that happens.
We do.
That does happen. And so you're expecting auditions in early 2025 for
That's
the summer?
right. In
Is that the
February
plan?
is usually when we do them. We haven't scheduled them yet, but they'll be coming out soon.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, it's very exciting.
Thank
and
you.
then, of course, there's other traveling things that you'll be bringing
And
into town
Jordan?
as well. There's other things that are coming. Jordan, can you fill us in a little bit more on what's coming?
Absolutely.
All right,
Let's go through chronologically here. I got my cheat sheet so I don't give you the wrong
I
dates.
appreciate that. That's right. Okay, no problem.
So our first touring show of 2025 will be on February 28th. So if you wanted to push your Valentine's Day out just a little further, avoid the crowds,
Right.
you can buy some tickets to Dirty Dancing in concert. So they're going to be playing the full movie, the size of a cinema screen. So if you never got to see it in the theater,
Okay.
now's your chance, with the addition of a live band playing all the music.
Okay.
And then following the movie,
Are you going to pour a bucket of water on the stage?
I hope.
Okay. All right. All right. Why not?
Ed doesn't hope,
Oh,
but I
yeah,
hope our
right.
technical director won't be happy about
Okay.
it. And then following the movie, they'll go through and they'll play more of the music again, and they'll welcome the audience to sing and dance
Oh, nice.
with them as well. So there's a miniature
Okay.
concert afterward
Yeah.
that's just its own. And then
And they're singing and dancing to the movie during the movie. Right?
absolutely, yeah. The movie is you get to watch the full film with the music live.
That new blending of art forms is really popular right now. Most symphonies are doing that now. I mean,
Right.
they announce a Harry Potter movie, and they
plus-
play all the score with the movie, so it's live and recorded.
Right. Makes sense. Okay.
So we decided we did our Planet. That way
That's
we
right.
did the world premiere with the 14-piece orchestra and the narration, and then the Emmy Award-winning score being played live, and they just stripped the score out. And this is that's from the same company that brought us our Planet. And this year their big show is Dirty Dancing, and we thought that was enough of a break. And a lot of people have a really warm spot about not putting Baby in the corner. So.
That's right. That's very true. Well, and the music is great too. So
Yeah.
there you are. All right. Then what's next?
All right, so at the top of March, we've got probably our biggest marketed as a family-friendly show. So before you come see Legally Blonde on March 4th, you can come and check out Dragons and Mythical Beasts Live, which is from the same company that brought us Dinosaurs Live earlier this year with the giant dinosaur puppets. So at the beginning of March, you can come and they'll have, I think there's a unicorn, they have a full-size dragon, they have just all kinds of mythical creatures.
And they do the same thing where they do the show, and you see the show, then everybody comes out in the lobby, and all the kids can meet the magical characters and take pictures with them.
Okay. Very good. And I did remember that we have some graphics for these. So
There you go.
You know,
There you go.
right from the website. So there we are on March the 4th, right?
Right, you got it. Yep, and the tickets for all of these are going to be 16 to 28. So
Okay.
all of our touring shows fall in that.
And
range.
I would just, not that it's a big thing, but it kind of is. First of all, let me just say, we couldn't do any of this. The Four Corners Musical Theater, the Youth Academy, or the touring shows without the support of the city of Farmington. They really wanted to begin to define Farmington more culturally. I mean, what are we culturally? Because the people would come here and look around, and the outdoor stuff is terrific, and it still is, and they redid the downtown. But culturally, what were we? And we started working on that 6 years ago And it was one of the reasons that all of this started happening was the city council and the mayor and certainly the city manager and his staff. It's something they wanted. So we couldn't do this without solid city support. And of course, your support. Our audiences have constantly gone up, and that shows that what we're doing is becoming increasingly important to Farmington. And part of that is the city manager never wants anybody in Farmington to not be able to afford to see something we're doing. So something that we have $16 to $28, if it goes from here to Popejoy, at Popejoy the tickets are $80 to $140 a ticket. And the city powers that be just really, they underwrite part of this in order to keep our ticket prices down. And that's so everybody can afford to benefit from what we're bringing into town. So it's great for us to be able to say that, but we should also pause and say it's not really us that makes those decisions, it's the city, and the city wants a solid cultural platform for you people who live here.
And I'm glad that you pointed it out, because I think it's really important, the commitment from the city and the
Right.
city council that continues to approve the budgets and the spending and things like that to keep those prices affordable. And I
Right.
think, too, if the audience will do a check, some of these traveling shows, if they're in Phoenix or Denver or Popejoy and Albuquerque, they will see the ticket prices are not the same. And they're
About 3 times more.
a lot higher in those
Yeah.
other places. So I'm glad that you brought that up.
Sure.
So
Thank you.
Jordan, what else you got coming up? Huh?
All right, so following Dragons in March, we'll then have Legally Blonde at the end of March. And then at the top of, so we don't have anything booked in April. I'm so sorry.
Well, you need a little break, right? Maybe you know, a little
Yeah,
something.
Let us
Okay.
breathe. We're going to breathe for a month.
Yeah.
And then on May 10th, we'll have the Doo-Wop Project.
Tell them a little bit about that. When we explored that, it's not just a doo-wop band. It's
Yeah.
more exciting than that. Jordan, go ahead and explain it.
Yeah, so the show actually starts in the doo-wop era. They do a bunch of the doo-wop hits, and then they take the doo-wop style and they bring you up through the decades of music,
Oh, nice.
all the way up to modern day hits.
Okay.
And they do them all in a doo-wop style.
Isn't that cool?
So-
That sounds cool. Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay. Very good. All right, that's coming up May 10th.
May 10th. And then 7 days later, 7 days later,
Okay.
we have arguably what I think is going to be one of the biggest touring shows of our spring season next year. And that's going to be Arrival from Sweden, the music of ABBA. So that's the world's leading ABBA cover band. It's not just an ABBA cover band; it's the ABBA cover
Wow.
band.
Right.
And they're the only one that is actually certified by ABBA.
Oh, okay.
So they picked
Nice.
this band to be the band because they tour very little
Yeah,
anymore.
right.
But-
Okay. And we know how much our audiences here seem to love Mamma Mia.
Well, that was
Another musical,
People keep
right?
asking, if we're ever going to bring back Mamma Mia, and I'll tell you, it's on the list. I
Okay.
mean, we keep getting asked to do Rocky Horror and Mamma Mia again, believe it or not, and I know that we're having conversations about both of those. Maybe one summer we'll do 2 shows at Sandstone, and the second one will be Mamma Mia.
Okay.
So there's stuff that's cooking, but we know you guys love the music of ABBA, and this is a terrific band. They look like them, they sound like them. So we're giving the ABBA experience to Farmington, even though we're not doing Mamma Mia yet.
Yeah, but this will be a close second.
Well, yeah,
If not
absolutely.
first.
I mean,
close.
If not first,
Yeah.
right? So that'll
it's
be
going to
great.
sound exactly like ABBA.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you do Mamma Mia, because of the way they've woven the songs into the book, they don't sound exactly like ABBA. But this will.
Okay, very good. And that's May 17th.
You got it, May 17th.
Arrival from Sweden. So, and then of course, and then we go into the stuff that Randy's been talking
Yep,
about
we
and getting
start
ready
the
for the summer season.
the
And
second week of June.
all
So
those
it's
things.
pretty much going.
very good. And so FarmingtonShows.com is where you can go
FarmingtonShows.com. You
to
got it.
see
Yep.
what we're showing on the screen and get tickets and get the dates and put them on your calendar and all those different things, right? So very good. Excellent. And just before we go, I wanted to just talk to Jordan a bit about the busyness at the Farmington Civic Center. I mean, this is a busy time for that facility, and just it's been so utilized over the years, and I think this last couple of weeks kind of prove how just flexible and great it is, and the staff to put together the Thanksgiving dinner for the community, and then it switches over this week to Festival of Trees. You'll have the Christmas tree lighting on Wednesday, I know, in the
Absolutely.
afternoon. Your crews are busy.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And to that point, I just want to say that I've been back at the Civic Center for a little while now, and I can't tell you how wonderful it is to see that place so busy. And that's a lot in part thanks to Randy, who's come in and made sure that the community knows we're there, make sure they know that we're affordable and we're friendly, and we want you to come to our facility.
And we're a community building.
Right.
And we have doubled the rentals in the Civic Center every year. Until now, we can't double it anymore because we're booked weekends clear through when?
I don't think, I'll tell you 100% you can't find anything in December at this point.
Okay.
No, but how far are we booked out?
I couldn't even
It
tell
would
you.
go
I
into
know
spring.
it's months. I
Yeah,
know
it
it's
would
months.
go well into spring.
Okay. All right.
And then,
So if you haven't booked your Christmas party, you're out of luck at the Civic
think
Center.
so.
Unfortunately, with us.
Yeah.
and we're also, I mean, speaking of show tickets,
Yeah.
we're also, the city management wants when they interviewed me, they asked me about how I felt about a civic center and its purpose, and I said, well, it's a community building. You want the community to feel like it's their building. And we do the same thing with the programming we do. I hope that we make sure that everybody that comes knows that theater can sometimes be seen as an ivory tower, and it's taught that way in colleges. Well, we know that all of you feel comfortable going to a movie. I mean, probably all of us are going to see Wicked before it poops out. But and we're totally comfortable that we go in, we get our popcorn, we get our drink, we go in, we do the movie thing. People have been a little more intimidated by the live performance thing. And we have worked really hard to make sure that you guys know we're just the same thing. I mean, we're a community building, doing and bringing, hopefully, the highest quality performing arts we can offer to you. But whether or not it's coming to a program or renting a space, a birthday party, a graduation party, festival of trees is a huge event. The little events matter to us just as much, and the city powers want the Civic Center to be available. I mean, cost effective.
Right.
So in that's why we're so booked now, is because we have great staff. We love to have people use the building, and that's been building every single year. And I don't think we can double it again because we're so full this year. But that's great. That's what we're here for.
Congratulations to
Thank
both
you.
of you and the staff I know that works really hard to make all those events really special. And there's a variety of spaces that you can book. It's not always the theater or the ballroom. There's smaller rooms as well. And
There's the terrace room, which has an outdoor option.
Right. So lots of flexibility there. So that's great. Well,
More and more people are doing events on the Civic Plaza, too. It's getting
True.
used a lot more.
that's very true. So nice to see. It's
Sure.
nice to see. So very good. Well, gentlemen, thank you for coming in. It's always great to have you here and talk about all the things you're bringing to town, and can't wait to see them on the stage at the Civic Center or
Thank-
Sandstone.
Thank you for all you do and all your support of all the things that are Farmington. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us.
We're glad to do it. So appreciate you guys being here. Merry
Absolutely.
Christmas.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Thank you very much. My guest from the Farmington Civic Center here on KSJE. KSJE and the San Juan College Native American Center present the Student Study Tip of the Week.
Hi, my name is Latoya, and I'm coming to you with the study tips of the week. Studying can be draining, so treat yourself for a little motivation. Buy a coffee from your favorite coffee shop or get some study snacks from the campus convenience store. You can also reward yourself by taking breaks for activities you enjoy, like walking, reading, or watching TV. Adding in a reward will give you something fun to work towards.
The Student Study Tip of the Week is presented by the San Juan College Native American Center and KSJE.